one. Unfortunately, it's not a very good one because, well, there was supposed to be, or the start of this weekend was meant to be the start of a triple header, which had both of us and many people around the world very, very excited. But it's now been cancelled. Of course, there was always, unfortunately, a reason for worry. Before we talk about that, I'll quickly read the statement that's come from Formula One. The Formula One community, this is their statement, wants to send its thoughts to the people and communities affected by recent events in the Emilia Romagna region. We also want to pay tribute to the work of the emergency services who are doing everything they can to help those in need. Following discussions between Formula One, President of the FIA, the authorities, the President of the Automobile Club of Italy, everyone there's a lot of people here. The promoter, the decision has been taken not to proceed with the Grand Prix weekend in Imola. The decision has been taken because it's not possible to safely hold the event for our fans, teams, and personnel, and it's right and responsible thing to do. That's what Formula One are saying, and truth be told, I kind of get that point.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate news, really, though.
It really is unfortunate because with Baku and the China GP being cancelled, there was already a huge gap in the F1 schedule, but now with Emilia
Romagna.
Yeah, I always struggle with that. Anyways.
Thank God you don't know the actual name of it. Made in Italy something. I don't remember what it's called either, but it's just really long. The point is the race has been cancelled, and yes, there goes our triple header weekend.
Yeah, and I mean, the first question that comes to my mind is how is this going to affect the championship points? Because it's already so scattered, with the sprints and everything. It really is sending me into a loop.
Yeah, because see, right now, remind you, F1 have not confirmed anything in terms of a way forward. Normally what happens is, like I remember when the Chinese Grand Prix was cancelled, you got news that they were trying to reschedule it and eventually they couldn't.
Yeah.
Here they've not said, are they going to try and fit it into the schedule? Are they going to have a replacement race somewhere in the near future? This is just going to be a 23 race season? What's it going to be? We don't know yet, but what we do know is that this was actually bound to happen. You know why? Yesterday I had come across news that in the region of Emilia Romagna, the rain was so bad that normally what they do is on Tuesdays, the teams will reach the venue, they'll set up the paddock and everything. They couldn't do that. They were actually sent home because they assembled. The rain was so severe that they couldn't actually set up the paddock. The drivers, personnel, everyone involved were said, no, you go back to your hotels.
I think that's much safer than sticking with the race, because we've seen a few horrible a lot of horrible conditions when there was a lot of rain, but then the FIA persisted with the race, and it's also happened in a lot of motorsports, and it never ends well because you're always putting the driver's life at risk. And I honestly hope that the people who have bought the tickets will get their refunds.
I'm sure they'll get refunds.
Yeah, that's always a problem. I remember in 2021 or 22 also there was this race that was cancelled midway.
I know which race you're referring to. It wasn't cancelled. It was the Belgian Grand Prix 2021.
Out, right?
Yeah, they had like 3 laps behind the safety car.
And then it stopped.
That was a farce.
I think that's much better. This
is much better
than what happened in Belgium that day. I mean, that was a really bad show for the spectators as well, because people spend a lot of money on the tickets and you have to feel for them, and always, of course, the fans come first.
Correct. And in fact, if I remember that race, the Belgian Grand Prix 21 was also the first race after the summer break. So it's bad enough that you're having that as the first race after the summer break. Is 3 laps behind the safety car. That was terrible. That was not a good race. But and actually, in that case, it just makes sense. They know, because already I had been reading a lot of rumors that come the weekend, there was going to be like a red alert for rain, which is never good. Red alert means stay home. This is as simple as that. You don't do anything. Yes. Think COVID protocols again. Stay home. You don't need to maintain social distancing here, but you get the point. You can't be moving out. So that's the thing. There was always a worry, and of course, again, there's always contrasting reports also, because I remember reading one report saying the rain would subside. There would just be a little bit of a threat of certain parts being flooded, and I'm like, how is that helping anything?
That's not helping.
Exactly, because even if there's flooding, then you still have to get the track in order, the seating in order, and don't forget the track is actually pretty near to the river.
Oh, that's dangerous. Then.
Exactly.
And obviously, aquaplaning is so dangerous in motorsports. You never want that to happen. Even if there's, I remember in Spa, I believe there used to be a few problem areas on the track where the water used to accumulate, and the cars or the MotoGP motorcycles would aquaplane on it, and drivers would really have a bad crash.
Exactly.
So that's not something we want to have. So I think this is a great initiative from FIA to cancel it ahead of time, and I think because it's been cancelled ahead of time, people will be refunded their
That's one good thing,
amounts,
because again, the tickets are Friday through Sunday. If you buy a full weekend pass, it's Friday through Sunday. So if you get Friday through Sunday, which includes of course the practice sessions, then quali, then the race, you would be pretty annoyed. Like, say what happened in Belgium. Imagine those people who bought the all weekend passes. Here at least, there's a good chance you'll get a refund. There's not going to be any danger to the drivers, which is also very important, because I think in recent years there's been a renewed emphasis on safety, and that should continue, because I mean, we all know motorsport is a pretty dangerous sport at the best of times. Like, you can have all safety measures in place and there's still always a chance of calamity. And don't forget, one thing which you were mentioning about Spa. Spa is also one of those old-fashioned circuits, right? So it's kind of built in and around the mountains.
The dips and the uphill areas.
Exactly. Eau Rouge. And not just, it's similar as the case with Emilia Romagna. The Imola circuit's also an old one. You know, it only came back into prominence in 2020. When they had to kind of reschedule a lot of races. This was one of those that was available on short notice, and then it came back onto the grid. But it's also an old-fashioned track. As I said, it's near a river. You don't want to be running that risk.
Yes, and of course now it also kind of makes me think about how much more time the teams are going to get to put in a lot of upgrades. I heard from you actually that Mercedes is coming up with a lot of upgrades, and we'll have a video on that as well by the evening, I believe.
Or by the evening, or by tomorrow morning, one or the other. We'll have one for sure to discuss where exactly it is the direction was. And yes, you're right. Mercedes were one of the teams who were targeting this race as one where major upgrades would be coming. I think even Ferrari had a couple of things planned. So I think they do get that extra time, because if the race has been cancelled ahead of time, then they're just going to head back to the factories.
I think this is good news for all, except for, like, of course, the fans, that they would.
I mean, I'm disappointed. There's no race, but I mean, safety comes first in such a circumstance. So that is it from us. That's the breaking news update. If you're just joining us, it is that unfortunately, if you are looking forward to this weekend's Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, don't. It's been cancelled. But rain is unfortunately, been wreaking havoc in that region. In fact, there's been a couple of fatalities as well. There were casualties. So the rain situation is really bad there. If you're at that region in and near about, please take care. Stay home. Now is not the time to be worried about a race. You don't have to now, because it's been cancelled anyway. So thank you. We'll be bringing you more updates from the world of sport through the day. If you enjoyed this, please don't forget, like, share, subscribe, tap the bell, leave us a comment, and also follow us across social media, and stay tuned. We're bringing you a lot more from this video. For now, from Gargi and me, bye-bye.